welcome to another session of the Skull Sessions podcast with Dan and Hank. And today my guest is Merrill David. Is it how I say it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about you. What are you up to? Like, I just did your convention in Dallas, and that was awesome.
Yeah. First of all, thanks for having me on the show. I love the show. And yeah, it was cool to meet you at the Texas Authorcon back in July. That was really cool. I was really happy and surprised that I had people like you coming as far away as you did. So I mean, I know you came from your way over on the East Coast, right? Where are you Virginia?
New York.
New York. So yeah, so Rebecca Rowland came from Boston. We had Jason came from West Virginia. We had um, Montana. So we had people from all over the place. So I was really happy about that, and taken quite aback by it. But I mean, it was awesome. So I think the event went well. It was only our second one ever. The one before that, we only had 14 authors at the thing. So this last one that we just had, we had 60. So it was a big jump. Yeah, so big jump, and then it went very well. And next year, I think we're going to add like another 5 tables. We're not going to go crazy with this thing, but we're going to grow a little bit. But I'm excited about next year, and then the future of the event. And you're going to join us again next year, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. No, like I said, it was a good time. The next year, like, was this year a higher attendance than the first year?
Oh yeah, by far. But we expected it. We had a lot more. We had a lot more authors. We advertised it a lot more. We promoted it a lot more, and a lot longer. So we were anticipating that the crowd would be a lot higher. And I expect the same thing next year. We're going to advertise it even more than we did this past one. And I think between that and word of mouth, I think this thing's going to grow to be a pretty huge event within the next couple of years. Like I said, for our second year, I was very happy with the turnout and the way it all went down.
Yeah, no, it was cool. I enjoyed it. Everybody, especially if you're an author, I think it's a good thing to attend. And I met like Chantel and Dicey. I've only talked to them, but I met them in person. They were awesome. We hung out all weekend.
Yeah.
So give it a shout out to how people can see your site.
It's just shoot, I don't know it offhand. It's we do most of our business on our Facebook group. We've got a Facebook group, Texas Authorcon and Book Festival, and so we used to be just called the Texas Authorcon. There was some confusion out there, kind of like you said. I think a lot of people thought that this was just an event just for authors, and they didn't realize that no, this is open to everybody. This is open to readers, and so that's kind of why we added that onto the name of it, to the and Book Festival. So Friday, I think we're aiming more for Friday. We're going to have some rather than group discussions aimed towards the readers. I think on our Friday evening we'll kind of do more like author oriented topics, maybe some training sessions in there, and then Saturday, I mean, we'll still be open to readers on Friday night and for sales and where they can meet authors and all that. But Saturday is the real big day where we're going to be holding our discussions in the little side room there, and our panels and all that stuff. And that's so yeah. So this is an event for one and all. It's not just for authors, but. Shoot, I forget what the question was. I kind of got sidetracked. All right.
Well, I was just asking you. I mean, it's obviously going to be bigger and better this year. Last year was bigger and better than it was the year before. I've noticed like there are kind of two different kind of conventions. There are horror conventions, the ones that are kind of like for the general public, like Monster Mania, where they like people sell a whole bunch of like action figures and stuff like that. And you have a few authors there, but you also have like some like B movie celebrities and stuff. And then there are things like Killer Con or Author Con, and they're more focused on the authors, and the people that come to them are not as like fans come to them, but it's especially a lot of people that are like want to be future authors or current authors, and they want to meet some of their heroes and get some advice.
Yeah. Yeah, so this event is more like one of those. This is not your, and nothing against those events, but there's over in Irving, Texas, not far from our event is Frightmares weekend in Fort Worth, I believe, or Irving, and so that's a completely different event. That's a horror event, and that does include a lot of film, a lot of like you said, the B type celebrities. They may have the what were the guys? What were the different dudes that wore the different colors? And they were like the ninja guys back in the day, the Power Rangers.
Oh
They
yeah,
made.
the ninja
They,
guys.
I heard over the last year there was somebody advertising that they're going to have the pink Power Ranger. That's not our event. We are authors and we are readers, and that's what we do. I mean, we had a couple guys that were authors, but we're also sold some of the the figurines and stuff on the side. But they're primarily our authors, and they're there selling their books, and they're there to meet their readers and autograph and take pictures with their fans and stuff like that. So that's really what our event is about.
You're not gonna have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles there, maybe with like Shredder.
Don't get me wrong, I love the turtles, but no, they won't be at our event. No.
Maybe Spawn because it's a little bit more horror. But so let's talk about you. What have you done, and what kind of led you up to this point?
I still consider myself brand new to the whole writing thing. I mean, I started. I put my first book out in 20, and that took me like 5 years to do that. But that's just because I was basically writing on a dare from my wife. She dared me to write a zombie book because I was always complaining about The Walking Dead and how this was fake and that was fake. And she said, "Why don't you write a damn book then if you're so smart about zombies?" So that's when I just started kind of messing around, putting stuff on paper. Never thought that I'd actually publish that thing.
Just interrupt you for 1 minute. So we did a panel at one of the horror conventions. Said we're talking about how fake stuff like The Walking Dead is. Because we're like, dude, gasoline degrades your cars. You can have a car sitting there for like 10 years, and then you just jump in and drive away.
Oh yeah, we'll take the gas and all kinds of tons of weapons already.
Yeah,
yeah. And don't get me wrong, I love the first few seasons of Walking Dead. I mean, that was my favorite show, but that doesn't mean that a lot of that stuff just wouldn't happen in real life, like you said. But so that's how my whole writing journey started. Never thought I would actually publish that thing. My wife passed, and and like you, I read your bio. So didn't you have a brain tumor?
Yeah, I had a brain tumor. I was in Bellevue Hospital. I had surgery, I had chemo, I had radiation. My girlfriend at the time became my wife, and then she got in and run. So it's all a trail of sorrow. So
yeah, I was reading your bio, man. I was like, dang. But what we have in common there is that so I had a brain tumor also. Mine was malignant.
so mine, yeah.
Okay. But so between and that happened back to back between my wife passing and then my brain tumor. So basically for 2 years there, I basically put the book in the drawer, put it away, and didn't mess with it at all. And then just probably about 2000 maybe 19, I pulled that thing back out again and finished it up. And so in 20, right as the whole pandemic was starting up is when I released Wicked Awake, and that was my first book in my zombie series. Um, I've since released four of those, and I'm going to finish the series out next year. Probably going to come out in June with Wicked Awake 5. Happy Endings Cost Extra, and that'll be it. I'll be done with that series. And now I'm kind of more doing the more filthier, kind of more splattery extreme stuff. And that's kind of what I'm interested
Would
in.
it be more splatterpunk or more extreme horror?
A little bit of both. I mean, I'm kind of I don't know. I don't know really what genre I fall into, what category I fall into. I'm kind of mixing stuff up. So my first venture outside of the zombies was Fester, and so that's kind of a sci-fi coming of age, cosmic horror, but it's kind of splattery. It's kind of gross too. So I mean, I don't know what you call that thing, but I just kind of combine all. Maybe it's like hash. It's like horror hash. I just kind of throw a bunch of stuff together and see if it works. So that's kind of what I'm doing. But I'm having fun.
Well, if it works, it works. I mean, like people shouldn't follow a formula. Like people who follow a formula, die out pretty quick. So no, I think that's a good idea. Are you doing more of that as you go along, like with your further books, or like I'll include more, like like I noticed it myself, like the further books I write, like I think the better and more fluid I get, and like I kind of figure out what elements ring better.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely feel like I write so much better now than when I started this whole process. And but yeah, I think my stuff is it's starting to get some of it's even starting to get. I don't know if I haven't really gotten into Bizarro yet, but I'm kind of thinking maybe that may be some place that I go in the near future as well. But I'm just writing some really weird stuff. So I did Season Pass. That was my second book outside of the zombies, and that's kind of a mix between the paranormal and it's kind of extra filthy. So I guess that's kind of splattery too, and extreme. And then, but it's so yeah. So that's kind of it's hard to exactly categorize it. But the one I'm working on now is kind of a crime story, mafia crime story, but it's also filthy and borderline splatterpunk or extreme too. I call that one. It's gonna be Lasagna. That's gonna come out in December.
Does it have any supernatural elements in it, or like like mysticism or cult?
No, I haven't done anything like that yet. But I eventually someday I want to. I got a bunch. I got a whole ton of Google Docs where I've kind of started ideas or titles, and then maybe someday I'll get to them. But eventually, I would like to do something like that. I really want to do something with the cryptids. There's a whole bunch of different things I would like. Like I said, maybe some Bizarro. So I haven't done any slasher yet, so I don't know. Maybe I'll just take a shot at each one of those things and see which one does the best for me. But I'm really. This is a hobby for me. I'm not. This is not a business. I'm just having a good time doing this, and I never thought that I'd even be here to where people would actually, pay or pick up my books off Kindle Unlimited and actually want to read that crap. But I mean, it's here, and I'm having a blast with it. I'm happy. I'm extremely happy and blessed that I'm even here in this position. So yeah.
I think the stuff that really stands the test of time is more labor of love than like a money making venture. Like I noticed like H.P. Lovecraft, one of my favorites. He loved writing. He made no money. He died broke. Like he died of cancer, and it was 4 months before he went to the hospital to get checked out because he was so poor.
Yeah.
Edgar Allan Poe like died in the gutter. They just loved it so much. And it seems like and like I don't know if you are familiar with the Robert Chamberlain. He wrote the King of Yellow, the Yellow Sign.
Mhm.
Um, so he started and he inspired Lovecraft. He wrote some like awesome horror stuff, and I got his book called The Yellow Sign. And the first like I think 5 or 6 stories are all kind of awesome horror stuff, but horror didn't really sell at that time. So all the rest are like romance. And it's very like 1920s romance. So it's like really stiff and awkward, whatever. Like you can tell that he was really good at something and he just gave up because I gotta make money. But what people remember him for is like the first 6 stories.
That's yeah. I mean, and it's you're exactly right. I mean, this is. I don't think anybody gets into writing thinking that they're going to do it as a living or to become rich off of it. It's got to be a labor of love, and if you're just pumping stuff out just to be making. I mean, I guess some people are talented enough where they can do that, but I can tell when and that's why a lot of times I've been on these podcasts and people ask if I use a word count, and I never use a word count because I just try to just write while I'm having fun. So there'll be days where I'm just not feeling it, and I tell myself, okay, I'm not going to just put stuff down. I got my big cat's about to jump on my lap. I don't, and I gotta watch him because he's got sharp claws, and if I don't help him, he scratches the fuck out of my leg, right, buddy? Um, so, so I just gotta be writing. I gotta be having fun, but I'll never tell myself, okay, today I'm gonna write 1,500 words because a couple times I've done that. A couple times I'm like, okay, let me just try to finish this chapter out, and then the following day I'll look at it and I'll be like, boy, that just kind of sucks. I mean, it just kind of feels vanilla. It doesn't feel like I was actually feeling any of it, you know. So then I erase it and start over. So I don't know. That's maybe that's just me.
No, I agree with you. I mean, I'll be working on something, and it could be like an hour, it could be like 6 hours, But once I hit a roadblock and I feel like I kind of like don't know how I want to progress, I don't want to force it. So then I'll go out and do something else. Often I'll like go for a bike ride or something because that like burst of endorphins really helps you think.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm like at a point like I'm reading a novel and I'm like at like one point when the main character needs to do something, but I'm not sure exactly how that person should proceed. I go, you know what? If I take a break and I think about it while I'm doing other activity, I'll come up with something great, and I often do. And the other thing I do that you do is I write notes all the time. Like on my iPhone, I have a whole section of notes, and someone will even say for the new novel, but then I won't use all of them because I'll be like, they don't all go together. So this would be great for a short story. This would be great for the novel.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I do. I'll sometimes if I'm driving, I'll use my phone and the audio recorder, and I'll leave voice notes and stuff. But if I'm still, then I'll put notes in the phone, or I'll jump on the Google Doc. But I'm the same way. I just and I'm with you. A lot of times I do get ideas. Sometimes I get ideas if I'm on like a long road trip. Um, or the other place where I get a lot of good ideas, and this may sound kind of weird, but a lot of times I get good ideas when I'm sitting in church. I go to church, and I'll be in there for some reason. I'm trying to pay attention, but sometimes I'll be thinking of like new storylines or things that I can already plug into my current works. I mean, it's weird. I get a lot of good ideas and thoughts in church for some reason. I don't know why that is.
I have a problem because I go to church and it's bursts into flames, so I can't walk into church. But that's my running joke. So you started fairly recently. Do you have them all up on Amazon? Do you have a website? Like, how do you promote them and how do you get people to buy them?
Yeah, it's all on Amazon. It's all on Kindle Unlimited. It's all on wherever you can find Audible books. I've got the Audible version for all of them. So wherever you find that, but I don't do a website. I got a website, but no, it's not a good one. It's like nobody uses it. I'm not a tech guy, and so I know that a lot of people don't call that tech, but yeah, I can't even do the website thing. I'm on Amazon. If people want a signed book, all they gotta do is reach out and message me, and I'll send them a signed book. But I keep it simple, man. I'm on Amazon. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I tried the tickety talk machine, and I wasn't doing very well there. I guess I didn't dance well enough or something. I don't know. So I
Yeah,
shut
you were wearing those pink fringe dresses. If you were, then you'd be fine.
I couldn't find them in my size. I looked all over the place. Yeah. I keep it simple, man. But yeah, it's all on Amazon. It's all on Kindle Unlimited, and it's all on Audible. So yeah, it's all out there. But if anybody wants to reach out to me, get a signed copy, just message me, and I'm always up for sending something out like that.
Okay. Do you have a author page on Amazon?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can kind of see what do you have a blog?
No, I don't do blogs.
So, if you want to get a hold of you, if they want a signed copy or whatever, should they just shoot you an email?
They can email me at merrilldavidhorror@gmail.com. But the easiest way is just, friend me on Facebook and send me a message on the messenger machine there. I'll get back with you. That's the easiest way. That's where I get most people reaching out to me and stuff. But Yeah, I just keep it simple like that. Or come out there, even better, come out to the Texas Authorcon and meet me, meet Ken, meet Patrick Harrison, Chris Miller, Edenbach. I mean, meet Eric Butler. Come out next Texas Authorcon and meet us all there. That's the best way to do it. You get to see a whole bunch of us all in one shot.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Yes.
Definitely be there. I don't know if Patrick will be again this next time, but he was last time. He's in my new book, my anthology book. He's a nice guy. So, all right. So, what got you started in the whole convention thing? Like, you writing, and then you were like, I'm gonna start doing conventions and like get out there more and get like a wider expanse of knowledge, or what was your process?
Yeah, me and Jamie Hernandez. She writes zombie fiction as well, and so we were in the same Facebook group, Written Undead, and so and she's in Dallas as well. So we were talking about, hey, it'd be kind of cool if we, maybe had a book signing event somewhere. So it started out with the two of us. She was Facebook friends with Nick Stenchek, who writes fantasy, and so we kind of added him onto it. And next thing you know, we came up with a couple other people, and it grew. We never thought it would grow to 14, and so the first year we 14 people, and now, like I said, now we're up to 60. So that's how it all started. We just wanted a chance to get some exposure, get our name out there, be able to meet our readers, them have the chance to meet us, and Jamie's readers kind of come and see my stuff, and my readers come check her stuff out. Same with Nick. I think a lot of readers don't just read one genre; they read multiples. And so we're just trying to get out there and be seen and heard, and hopefully people kind of like our stuff, and maybe word spreads, and we get to see more and more people and more readers down the road. That's kind of what the thought process was behind our starting this thing.
I did Scardiff way back in like 2013, I believe. And my first novel was All I Had Out at the time and has a kind of sci-fi cover to it, but Scardiff is a horror convention. So people bought it and they said, "Hey, I'm glad I bought this because I never would have bought it if I thought it was just sci-fi." So yeah, conventions are great because they like you get to talk to the authors, you get to go, "Hey, what's it about?" You get to go, like that organic conversation. I think is a lot better than like stiff type on the back of the book.
It really is. I mean, and like you said, so many readers. I mean, they don't just read just one thing, or if they do, they're interested in other things, but maybe they just hadn't, pursued any literature in that genre yet. But I mean, like I think a good example is Western horror. So I think that's starting to become more and more popular, and so it's kind of a blend between two very different genres between the western and horror, and we're starting to see those come together.
When it's well done, I think it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it
I mean,
definitely
I don't
is.
think it's depleted like zombies. There were a couple awesome zombie things. I loved Dawn of the Dead. It's one of my favorite movies ever. But then there were so many knockoffs to Dawn of the Dead, like Zombie Lake or Shockwaves, and after a while, you're just like, all right, man, give up on the zombie shit. Unless you got something new and original to say, just give up on it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can only do zombies so many different ways. I mean, and then maybe, and like I said, I still love zombies, and I was starting to kind of uh, invent some different things with in my series, and I was starting to do some different takes on the whole spread of the virus and the pandemic and all that. Some different creatures that were becoming affected by the virus, and you were seeing morphed. Uh, uh, I don't know if they're creatures, but things, part zombie, part animal, part. So, you can do a little bit with it, but eventually, yeah, you do get tired of just seeing zombies and different zombies on zombies in Uranus and stuff like. I mean, there's always some. Hey, that would hurt. By the way, having a zombie in Uranus. I think.
I think that the the new takes and stuff with like the evolution and everything. I think that's what keeps it interesting because it seems like, especially I remember after Dawn of the Dead, all these people were putting out movies who were the exact same thing, just put in a different place.
Yeah.
So you didn't see any evolution. Like I can still to this day, I don't care. Like I've seen way too many zombie movies, but I can still watch like 30 Days of Night. You know, like there are or 28 Days Later. All the people argue with this as a zombie or a virus movie, but I'm just saying, like as long as you have like a cool original take, that it doesn't matter if it's been done before. This is a new thing.
Mhm. And it's funny that you mentioned 30 Days because that may be my favorite horror movie of all time. I love that movie. I know it's a little bit aged, and like you said, some people are like, well, those aren't really. Um, some people think they're vampires. Some people think, well, I don't know if they're vampires or not. But I don't. Whatever those creatures were, they were creepy as fuck. And that movie was really good. I love that movie. And
Yeah,
then it goes.
they meld genres up. I misspoke. It's not a zombie movie; it's a vampire movie. But like, how many times have people done vampires? But it doesn't matter if you do something new and original and cool with it, like 30 Days a Night. You do something horrible like fucking Twilight. It's like that doesn't ruin vampires. It just ruins that take on vampires.
Yeah, no, I mean, exactly. I can still again go. I was crossing genres between the vampires and the zombies, but going back to zombie films, I could watch Night of the Living Dead. I could probably watch that one every 2 or 3 months. And as old as that one is, I don't know if that's the original. It's one of the originals. I still love that movie to this day.
And more paramedics.
Yeah.
When they tattoo, like there's like that zombie corpse is like half of a girl. She's like the pain. They're like, it hurts me. Yeah. She's like, yes. And they're like, what makes the pain go away? She's like, brains. I quote that all the time when I tattoo. People say something and they're like, the
Pain of
pain.
being dead.
Oh man, that's
But
funny.
all right, man. So I have a few more questions for you. Is all your stuff self-published? Is it, do you sort of company to put it out? Like how would people see it, and what's the best way?
Yeah, it's all self-published. And I started to I didn't mention. I started to publish my own. In addition to my own books, I'm starting to publish some anthologies. I already put out one. It's called Head Blown. It's extreme body horror stories, and part two is coming out.
Is that the one I'm using the story for?
Yes, sir. And so I'm starting to. I figured, if I did the same thing as a lot of the authors when you're starting out. You send all those queries out to all these publishers, and you're emailing them, and you're sending them all these manuscripts and all that stuff. And I feel like I did that for a little while, and after a while, and I started to hear about self publishing, and I was like, yeah, that sounds like the way to go. Because I'm wasting a lot of fucking time going back and forth with these publishers or sending shit to them and not even hearing back. Fuck them. I'm gonna do this myself.
I think that you went the right way. Like I was convinced the same thing. I was like that you got to have a traditional publisher, and I've had some horrible traditional publishers, and so I incorporated, and now I'm like just now putting out my own stuff. But like you have so much more control. Like this anthology is the first thing I incorporated is called Dead Guy LC. And the first thing I put out through Dead Guy LC was this anthology. But it's like I was able to do it like in hardcover and audio and all this stuff. And I had all the rights to everything. And I remember my last publisher, not my last publisher is actually really good, but the one before that, like I just wanted author copies so to sell some at like KillerCon. Because I sold out at your convention, and then I would sell some at KillerCon. They're like, yeah, we'll sell them to you for $12 a book. Like 12, they're my own fucking book. You sell me for $12 a book. But I was like, just give me my rights back. Yeah. So, long
Yeah.
story short, I think you went the right way.
I don't need somebody telling me what cover to put on there, how to change the ending. I don't want any of that. So I'm with you. I mean, I've heard, so between your horror stories and I've heard a lot of other authors with their horror stories and their dealings with publishers. And I think that's a trend now. Is a lot of people, as soon as they can, they're taking their stuff back from them, and either they're republishing it on their own, or they're doing whatever they can to get the rights back. Because you're right. I mean, it's not cool to have someone else having control over your properties and your work.
Right. No, they were like the publisher that my first two books. They kept violating the contract, but they try and like angle it different ways. And they were cheating me on what they're paying me, and they went through like three different owners. And I remember when I wanted to get out, I was trying, and I asked Jeff Strand, and he gave me some great advice. So pretty much, I feel like I just got kind of like nasty with them, like I want to write back, I want them right now. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, you misunderstood it. Here they are. So they
Yeah.
worked.
Very nice. Yeah. Yeah. I would highly recommend anybody who's just starting out. I think I don't know how, because I've never seen any self-published works that were complete shit. But you hear stories that there are a couple, that there's some people self-published and their stuff was just awful, full of errors, and I've never seen anything like that. But so I don't know if that's kind of why some
Well,
people.
word of mouth too. Like reviews really help. People will call you out right away if they don't like something. Like even if they're just being Karen about it, they'll call you out right away.
Yeah, 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 that's true. So I don't know. For some reason, some people have given self publishers a bad rap, but I'm with you. Anyone starting out a brand new journey writing, definitely look into self publishing. I mean, throw it out there a little bit if you want to see if you can latch onto a publisher. Do your research on the publishers first, like you were just saying, Dan. Make sure it's an organization that you don't mind getting wrapped up in with. But definitely consider self-publishing. Don't waste a ton of time trying to get it hooked up with a publisher. I mean, you just do it yourself.
Okay, awesome. So, do you have anything else that you want me to mention? Anything else that you want me to promote for you? Other than your convention that everybody should go to?
I don't think so, man. Like I said, I talked about all the stuff I've got out. We talked about Texas Authorcon. The tickets for Texas Authorcon are free. It's a free event. I know it's not till next July, so it's kind of early to talk about that. But the tickets are free. They're on eventbrite.com. You can get free tickets there. The cool thing about the event too, and you'll see, Dan, because you're going to be in Headloan too, is we sell that anthology at the event. So you can get the anthology Head Blown 2, it's the extreme body horror stories at the event, and then probably 13 or 14 of the authors who have stories in that book will actually be at Texas Authorcon. So you go around, you get Dan Hank to sign his story, me, Patrick Harrison, Rebecca Rowland, all these excellent authors, and get them to sign it. So it's kind of like a treasure hunt. You go around from one table to the next to get these autographs, and it's kind of a cool thing. I think a lot of people dug that, but so that Texas Authorcon is in Dallas in July of 2024. That's about it, man. All my stuff, like I said, it's all on Amazon. It's all on Audible. Lasagna's coming out in December. Head Blown 2 is coming out early next year. Wicked Awake 5, the finale to my zombie series, will be out like in June. And that's about it, man. Just I appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for talking about your shit. And everybody should check his stuff out, and they should check out Author Con. All right, man. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dan. You have a great day.